right, my friends, I'm about to compare Hurricane Helene to the massive flooding going on in New Mexico. This is insane. First off, we got to get this out of the way. We know weather modification is just a theory. We are just spitballing here, but I want to show you something that has to do with the flooding that has taken place in New Mexico. And I'm going to show you an example where you can literally see weather being created over Area 51. It then gets shot with radar beams and then turns into a storm a few hundred miles in size, and you see it flow right through Arizona and into New Mexico. My friends, check this out. All right, in order to start understanding how this compares to Hurricane Helene and why this flooding was so bad, all you need to do is look at the last couple days, and what you're seeing is a low pressure system right here, literally spinning counterclockwise for multiple days in the same spot. It does not move. This alone is very rare to have a stalled out system just sitting for days, specifically in the southwest of the United States. And as we move to current time, we can see this basically just lifted off that area, and people are wondering why this flood took place. But what they don't understand is how rare of a situation it is and how close this was to exactly what happened with Hurricane Helene, and I'm going to explain that right now. All right, and here we are. So what we're looking for is another stalled out low pressure system. We can see it right here. This came down from Canada as Hurricane Helene was approaching the west coast of Florida, and it just sat there. And what happened was the hurricane eventually made landfall and then swung up towards that low pressure system, and once they get close enough, they begin to interact. We call this the Fujiwara effect. And as you can see, that stalled out low pressure system completely affects Hurricane Helene and makes it bend into the west, and that's what puts this storm in North Carolina, Asheville, and the severe flooding we saw in Tennessee and western North Carolina. Again, my friends, this would not have happened if this low pressure system was not stalled out and kept in the middle of the United States right here. It's as if this thing was sitting here waiting to interact with the hurricane for it then to cause the hurricane to shoot in a western direction after making landfall. This is super rare for this to happen, but there it is, my friends. So somehow, some way, these low pressure systems are being put in place, and now when we jump back to the New Mexico situation, you can see we are dealing with the same exact situation. A low pressure system stalled out, not moving an inch right or left. Super rare for these to just stay in one spot, and then there came the moisture right there. So you see this red, that is eventually after a day of this spinning here, it's pulling up that moisture from the Pacific over Mexico, and then boom, explodes into Roswell, New Mexico. And that, my friends, is why I'm showing you how a lot of this can originate from places like Area 51, where there's no eyes seeing anything that's going on in the skies there. We had something being dropped in the sky, and then it was activated by those radar, and then eventually became a massive storm that was flowing across Arizona and right into New Mexico. All right, and just take a look at them right next to each other. Two different major weather situations causing devastating flooding, both of which were caused by a stalled out low pressure system that's already a rare situation on its own, and then it is then activated to then cause this flooding because these systems did not move. They just stayed over the same place, dumping feet of rain, and in turn, my friends, becomes another devastating flood. All right, so now I have this full clip that we can break down, and you might be able to understand a little bit more. So this is what's happening here. We have a radar anomaly popping up, and as you can see, this is taking place directly over Area 51. So that's where this is originating from. These dots are being dropped over Area 51 and then shot with these lasers. And just to get everyone oriented, you can see right here, it is directly over Area 51. This is not made up. This is actually being dropped over that private property. And now we're going to go into detail and watch how they enhance it in real time. We're going to be watching this little speckle anomaly, and you're going to see it get zapped 2 different times. I'm going to go ahead and hit play, and you're going to see 2 zaps hit it, and just as that happens, another part of this begins to peel off. Watch this. 1, 2, and as soon as that happens, this part peels right off. Let's backtrack, and you're going to see the 2 beams. Here is 1 right there. There is the second right there, and then watch as this little system here gets bigger with a piece of it trailing off right after the beams hit it. This is unbelievable stuff, and you could see that it's also being shot from different radar towers as it scoots across the states here. Now keep in mind how big this is. This is an entire state right here. This is Nevada. Let's backtrack and see how big this thing gets over time. It begins as just these little dots. It gets hit with that double zap, and then here we go. Watch how this thing changes. Watch how fast it's moving, and you can see it being hit all the way back and forth. So let's do it again. All the way back to the beginning. We'll start with the first beam right here and the creation of these little specks. There was absolutely no moisture or any weather in this area whatsoever. Keep in mind, this is Nevada and Southern California. And we move forward again, zap number 1. There is zap number 2. We begin the peel off phase, and then it just begins to get bigger and bigger, and you can see other towers hitting it from different places as it passes by. Just a very weird anomaly that I caught, and it seemingly shows a system being created from nothing. Watch, if we backtrack another frame, this thing disappears. There's nothing there. The very next frame, we get the dots and the first beam, and then we see it get hit and hit over and over again, even from down in this area, and then boom, we have a full-fledged weather system created from little specks over Area 51. My friends, I've proven over and over that weather manipulation is real, and they do it all the time. In fact, it's on the NOAA website. You can go read about it yourself, and they explain what you need to do if you want to do your own weather modification. All right, my friends, with that said, that is what I got for you for today. I'll bring you any updates I find. Shout out to Canada. Please share this video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye. Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all and you will get all notifications from this channel. And trust me, you won't be disappointed.